Hello everyone, welcome to Current Affair MCQs program. Let's begin with previous day's practice question. Question was with reference to the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Kisan Samriddhi Sahay Yojana, consider the following statements. 1. It aims to formalize the unorganized fisheries sector by introducing work-based digital identities through the National Fisheries Digital Platform. 2. It promotes institutional financing for micro and small enterprises engaged in aquaculture. 3. It seeks to reduce risk in aquaculture by encouraging insurance adoption and improving supply chain traceability. 4. It includes provisions for enhancing marine exports to global markets. Which of the statements given above are correct? Only 1, only 2, only 3 or all 4? The correct answer is option C, only 3. Pradhan Mantri Matsya Kisan Samriddhi Sahay Yojana, that is PMMKSSY. The government approved the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Kisan Samriddhi Sahay Yojana, a central sector sub-scheme, in February 2024 for a period of 4 years from financial year 2023-24 to financial year 2026-27. Objectives: gradual formalization of the unorganized fisheries sector by creation of work-based digital identities under the National Fisheries Digital Platform for improved service delivery. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Facilitating greater access to institutional finance for fish farmers and micro and small enterprises. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Promotes insurance adoption for aquaculture, reducing risk while integrating traceability for quality assurance in supply chains. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Facilitates access to financial resources, empowering fish farmers with funding and sustainability options. Hence, statement 4 is not correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Now, let's begin today's episode. First question is, consider the following statements. 1. Transfer RNA, that is tRNA, carries the genetic information from DNA to the ribosome for protein synthesis. 2. Messenger RNA reads the genetic code and brings amino acids to the ribosome during translation. Which of the statements given above are correct? 1, only 2, only both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2? The correct answer is option D, neither 1 nor 2. That is, both the statements are incorrect. Messenger RNA or mRNA carries the genetic information from DNA to the ribosome for protein synthesis. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. mRNA serves as the intermediary between DNA and proteins. It is synthesized in a process called transcription, where an enzyme called RNA polymerase reads the DNA sequence of a gene and constructs an mRNA strand with a complementary sequence. Transfer RNA or tRNA reads the genetic code and brings amino acids to the ribosome during translation. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. tRNA's primary job is to read the codons on the mRNA and bring appropriate amino acid to the ribosome during the process of translation. Next question, consider the following statements. 1. The Infrastructure for Resilient Island States, that is IRIS initiative, introduced at COP21 in Paris, aims to assist small island developing states in achieving sustainable development. 2. The Infrastructure Resilience Accelerator Fund or IRAF was established with support from United Nations Development Programme and United Nations Environment Programme in 2022. Which of the statements given above are correct? 1, only 2, only both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2? The correct answer is option A, 1 only. Infrastructure for Resilient Island States was jointly launched at the World Leaders Summit at COP26 in Glasgow, UK by the Prime Ministers of India, UK, Australia, Fiji, Jamaica and Mauritius. It is a dedicated initiative that aims to support small island developing states in achieving sustainable development through a systematic approach to resilient, sustainable and inclusive infrastructure. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The Infrastructure Resilience Accelerator Fund and the CDRI Multi-Partner Trust Fund were launched on November 9, 2022 at the India Pavilion during COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. Established with support from United Nations Development Programme and the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, IRAF is managed by the United Nations Multi-Partner Trust Fund Office in New York. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. The fund aims to enhance global disaster resilience in infrastructure systems with a focus on developing countries and small island developing states. Hence, option A is the correct answer. Next question, consider the following statements. 1. The tailless hoolock gibbon is the only ape found in India. 2. Western hoolock gibbon, which inhabits all the states of the Northeast, is listed as endangered under the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List. Which of the statements given above are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, or neither one nor two? The correct answer is option C, both one and two. The tailless Hoolock gibbon is the only ape found in India, hence statement 1 is correct. Western Hoolock gibbon inhabits all the states of the northeast, restricted between the south of the Brahmaputra river and the east of the Dibang river, and outside India it is found in the eastern Bangladesh and northwest Myanmar. Hence statement 2 is correct. It is listed as endangered under the IUCN Red List. Eastern Hoolock gibbon inhabits specific pockets of Arunachal Pradesh and Assam in India, and in southern China and northeast Myanmar outside India. It is listed as vulnerable under the IUCN Red List. Hence option C is the correct answer. Next question, consider the following statements regarding Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihoods Mission. 1. It is a centrally sectored program under the Ministry of Rural Development for poverty reduction. 2. Each rural poor household has one member included in the self-help group network. Which of the statements given above are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, or neither one nor two? The correct answer is option B, two only. Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana National Rural Livelihoods Mission is a centrally sponsored program under the Ministry of Rural Development for promoting poverty reduction through building strong institutions for the poor, particularly women, and enabling these institutions to access a range of financial services and livelihoods. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Each rural poor household has one member, preferably a woman, included in the self-help group network, with women-led SHGs establishing bank linkage arrangements. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Next question, consider the following statements about India's shipbuilding industry. 1. India holds less than 1% of the global market share in shipbuilding. 2. Ships in India are currently not classified as infrastructure, restricting shipbuilders from accessing long-term financing. 3. The Sarfazi Act 2002 excludes vessels from being mortgaged as assets, which hinders bank financing for ship purchases. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none? The correct answer is option C, all three. India's share in the global shipbuilding market is a mere 0.07%. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Ships are not included in the harmonized list of infrastructure, limiting access to financing options for shipbuilders. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The Sarfazi Act 2002 excludes vessels, preventing banks from mortgaging ships, which reduces financing options for the sector. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Next question, consider the following statements regarding India's trade policy and its stance on the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership. 1. India decided to stay out of RCEP in 2019 despite RCEP countries accounting for around 30% of global GDP. 2. The China Plus One strategy refers to countries seeking trade diversification by increasing tariffs on Chinese goods. 3. Recent geopolitical events such as the pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine war have led to supply chain disruptions and increased protectionism in global trade policies. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none? The correct answer is option B, only two. India opted out of RCEP in 2019 even though RCEP countries collectively represent 30% of global GDP. Hence, statement 1 is correct. The China Plus One strategy involves countries diversifying their supply chains by establishing additional bases outside of China, not by increasing tariffs on Chinese goods. Hence, statement 2 is not correct. Global events like the pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine conflict have contributed to supply chain disruptions and a rise in protectionist trade. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option B is the correct answer. Next question, where is Dal Lake, an iconic lake facing ecological challenges and known for its importance to tourism and the local ecosystem? Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Jammu and Kashmir, or Sikkim? The correct answer is option C, Jammu and Kashmir. Dal Lake is located in Srinagar, the summer capital of Jammu and Kashmir, India. It is an iconic lake known for its scenic beauty, houseboats, and shikaras. Dal Lake holds significant cultural and economic importance, especially for the tourism industry in Kashmir. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Next question regarding the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, that is IBC 2016. Consider the following statements. 1. Financial creditors are primarily financial institutions and have the right to be part of the committee of creditors, giving them decision-making powers in the insolvency process. 2. Operational creditors are involved in providing goods and services on credit but do not have voting rights in the COC. 3. Home buyers were initially classified as operational creditors but were later reclassified as financial creditors, that is FCs, to give them representation in the insolvency process. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none? The correct answer is option C, all three. Insolvency and Bankruptcy Court 2016. Financial creditors or FCs are primarily financial institutions and have the right to be part of the committee of creditors, that is COC, giving them decision-making powers in the insolvency process. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Operational creditors or OCs are involved in providing goods and services on credit but do not have voting rights in the COC. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Home buyers were initially classified as OCs but were later reclassified as FCs to give them representation in the insolvency process. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding the strategic significance of Depsang Plains and Demchok. 1. The Depsang Plains is considered vulnerable due to its flat terrain, which is suitable for mechanized warfare and provides direct access to Aksai Chin. 2. Control over Demchok allows India effective surveillance over Chinese activities in the Aksai Chin region. 3. The PLA's control over the Depsang Plains threatens India's strategic position over the Siachen Glacier by enabling a two-pronged attack from both China and Pakistan. How many of the statements given above are not correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none? The correct answer is option D, none. That is, all the statements are correct. The Depsang Plains is vulnerable due to its flat terrain, which is suitable for mechanized warfare and offers direct access to Aksai Chin. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Control over Demchok enables India to effectively monitor Chinese activities in the Aksai Chin area. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The PLA's control over the Depsang Plains could threaten India's position on the Siachen Glacier, especially if China and Pakistan coordinate a two-pronged attack. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option D is the correct answer. Last question. Consider the following statements regarding India's carbon credit trading scheme and its role in climate finance. 1. India's Energy Conservation Amendment Act 2022 provides a legal mandate for establishing a carbon credit trading scheme. 2. The CCTS aligns with Article 6 of the Paris Agreement, specifically Article 6.2, to prevent the double counting of emissions reductions. 3. The Voluntary Carbon Markets Integrity Initiative framework has been introduced to enhance transparency but faces challenges due to high cost and potential transparency issues in India. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, or none? The correct answer is option C, all three. Carbon Credit Trading Scheme or CCTS. The Energy Conservation Amendment Act 2022 indeed provides a statutory mandate for the CCTS as part of India's climate strategy. Hence, statement 1 is correct. Article 6.2 of the Paris Agreement focuses on preventing double counting in emissions reductions, aligning with India's goal of integrating international carbon trading standards. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The Voluntary Carbon Markets Integrity Initiative or VCMI framework aims to improve transparency in carbon credit claims but faces challenges like transparency issues and high cost, particularly for smaller projects in India's CCTS initiatives. Hence, statement 3 is correct. Hence, option C is the correct answer. Now, moving on to practice question. Consider the following statements regarding recent Supreme Court judgments on the rights and classifications of prisoners in India. 1. In Sukanya Shanta versus Union of India 2024, the Supreme Court ruled that prison segregation based on caste for assigning labor duties is unconstitutional. 2. The Supreme Court's judgment emphasized the need to incorporate basic amenities in prisons by amending the Model Prison Manual 2016. Which of the statements given above are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2? Send the answer of this question in the comment section. Thanks for watching. For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.